All right, hello everyone and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North Carolina and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you so much for joining us today. So just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are turned off today so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions being offered by CACRAO, and you can check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded as well and will be made available within a week on that same website, CACRAO.org. I would now like to turn it over to our presenters.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. We're really excited that you students and families have chosen to learn a little bit about Johnson & Wales University. My colleagues and I are here today to say hello. My name is Mandy Hines, and I am an admissions representative in Eastern North Carolina.
And my name is Melissa Bates, and I'm your South Carolina admissions representative for Johnson & Wales University.
My name is Brenna Johnson. I'm an admissions counselor in the Charlotte office, and I am also helping cover Central North Carolina.
I'm Lisa Koenig. I cover Western North Carolina and Southwest Virginia, also a proud alumni of Johnson & Wales.
Well, you guys are in for a treat because you're going to get to hear a little bit from all of us today as we share about Johnson & Wales University. So we're going to utilize a PowerPoint today. Brenna, if you want to go ahead and share your screen. Johnson & Wales University was actually started back in 1914 as a university that was really preparing students for their career. We started as a business school back really before universities were focused on experiential education. Johnson & Wales was the pioneer. So as we're kicking off our presentation today, we've got this QR code and we want to hear from you. So we'd like to know that you're here. If you'll take just a minute and either text Wildcats to the number on your screen or take the QR scanner on your phone or take a picture, it'll take you 30 seconds to let us know that you've been participating in our presentation today. That way we can stay in touch with you a little bit and keep you up to date as campus tours are available, some of our cook-alongs and virtual culinary demonstrations, open houses, and other things happening on our campus. So you're here today to learn about Johnson & Wales University. Why Johnson & Wales University? Well, we believe that Johnson & Wales University is uniquely positioned to really offer you an incredible post-secondary education wherever your dreams are going to take you. So let's really explore the Johnson & Wales difference. Johnson & Wales University is a 4-year private institution. We have 2 campuses, which we're going to dive into in just a minute. But I think you'll see as we begin to explore what makes Johnson & Wales different, that there's going to be a spot for you. One of the things that really sets Johnson & Wales University apart from other schools is that our students learn by doing. And when I say learn by doing, this means that you really get your hands in the action. We know statistically that most individuals learn best with hands-on experiences. That means being a kinesthetic learner. So at Johnson & Wales University, we have set up your learning experiences so you really get in the action. This slide just shows a few of the different areas where our students are doing or the laboratories where they're working. Now, these snapshots here, whether it's the business lab and you see the stock ticker, or our criminal justice lab where students are learning how to process evidence. Maybe you're excited about culinary arts and the food and beverage industry. So our food innovation and development lab is where you'll spend the bulk of your time. Another one of our popular majors is sports entertainment and event marketing, management. And those students have their lab as well. Now these pictures that you see on the screen, our campuses have similar majors, some of the exact same majors. So you'll see some of these labs actually in both campus locations. The picture on the left is our fashion merchandising and retailing lab. Maybe you're very passionate about clothes, shoes, jewelry, whatever your niche is, or you want to go into retailing, which is really the sale of goods. Our students have the opportunity to work with major retailers across the country. But I would be remiss if I didn't point out the beverage lab. That's one of the highlights of some of the coursework done by our students in the College of Food Innovation and Technology. Now, these labs are places where our students are really going to get hands-on learning throughout your 4 years at Johnson & Wales University. But there are other things that set us apart, not just the hands-on experiential education that our students get. And one of those things is our faculty to student ratio. At Johnson & Wales, you can expect to have classes with approximately 18 students and 1 teacher. Now, why is that a good thing for you as a student? The reason that that's really important is because you have access to your instructor. You get to ask questions. They're invested in your success. If you're in an auditorium with 300 students, not only is it unlikely that you're going to get the attention you need to be successful and to grow professionally, your teacher isn't really going to know your strengths, be able to recommend job opportunities or career networking for you. Now, our faculty do make us unique at Johnson & Wales. We hire people from their industry. We hire instructors who have been there, done that. It makes the learning experience much richer. Now, if you're a criminal justice major, you might have instructors who have worked in law enforcement, the prison system. Our chefs, most of them have worked for large corporations like the Hilton Corporation, Marriott, Sodexo, Aramark, or they've owned their own franchise. No matter what your major is, I think you're going to find these points to be true about our faculty. Our faculty really do get to know you as a student. They're able to connect you with those contacts they have in the business world. And when you think about investing in college, your investment, you want it to pay off. You want to have a job when you graduate. Whatever your dreams are. Do you dream of going to New York City and learning from the best pastry chefs in Manhattan? Do you dream of going to Napa and really, studying fine wines? Or maybe your dream takes you to Florida, which the heart of their economy is hospitality and tourism. Whatever your desire is, our faculty have connections in their industry that are run deep. And by getting to know you in small classrooms, they're going to be able to make recommendations for you to get that job that you're looking for. So our faculty, I think, are one of our secret weapons. Now, a few other things that really set Johnson & Wales apart. We have you jump right into your major. Now, this is very upside down from a normal college experience. Most of the time, you're going to start off in core. You're going to take more English, more science, more history classes. Not so at Johnson & Wales. At Johnson & Wales, we want to keep you excited about what you're there to learn about. So if you're a culinary student, you're going to start in labs on day 1. If you're a fashion student, you're going to start learning the history of fashion. If you are an accounting major, you're going to start off in accounting. Now that does 2 things. The first is it allows you to really be prepared for an internship, which we're going to talk about more in a minute. But the second thing is, if it's something that you love, then you know you're on the right path and it keeps you energized. If it's not exactly what you think you want to do, it gives you plenty of time to pivot. So jumping into your major right away is something that your academic advisor at Johnson & Wales is going to help you with. They're going to set your schedule up for you to make sure that you're on the right path to success. Now, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Lisa, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about Johnson & Wales, the campuses and the programs we have to offer. All right, Lisa, take it away.
Thank you, Mandy. I have been privileged to spend time at both the Providence campus and the Charlotte campus. Each one has a very different feel. Both are in the middle of larger cities, but have very different things going on around them. So let's dive into our main campus. Providence, Rhode Island is such a tiny little state. You can fit 10 Rhode Islands inside of Texas. However, during the academic year, there are 50,000 college students in Providence, Rhode Island, because the business in that state is education and medicine. So all of the schools, Brown University, Rhode Island School of Design, Johnson & Wales, everyone is there, they're interacting together. You are only about 3 hours from New York City, 45 minutes to Boston, and about an hour and 15 minutes out to Cape Cod. So there's an awful lot to do in this little tiny mecca. Tons of great sports opportunities. The ocean is, nothing's very far in Rhode Island. So there's tons of things you can get to very quickly. Here's a snapshot of some of the campus up in Providence. The campus is broken into 3 sections. The Down City campus, which if you look at the columned, I'm gonna say it's my bottom right, that's Gaby Commons. That is really the center of our Down City campus where students gather on the green. The industrial looking building in the top center is the Cuisinart Center for Culinary Excellence. This is our culinary classroom, and our dining facilities where students practice serving and cooking, both front and back of the house, is all done here. And the dining rooms have beautiful views of the Narragansett Bay. If you look at the shot of Providence Down City, I like to point out, fun fact, that pointy building in the center is known as the Superman building. That is actually where they filmed Superman in the late 80s. It is also seen in the background of Family Guy. If you watch the opening shot, yes, Seth MacFarlane was a student in Rhode Island, not at Johnson & Wales, but he does have a passion for the state. So lots of things to do in this little tiny hidden gem. This is some statistics about the diversity of our Providence campus. So go ahead and take a gander. We are coming in at about 6,700 students. We were named by Money Magazine as one of the best colleges for 2019 and 2020. And again, a very diverse campus. Our students come from all over the country and all over the world. The Queen City, right down the street from us. The Johnson & Wales campus for Charlotte is right on West Trade Street. So if you happen to find yourself in the neighborhood, you can actually look in the windows and see our students cooking in the baking and pastry labs as you're walking by. They're used to it. You're not going to throw them off. It's kind of like being in a fishbowl. So the Queen City is really a great banking city. We are the 2nd largest in the nation for banking, 3rd largest healthcare system in the Southeast, and a fun new fact that I just learned, we are the 2nd fastest growing technology corridor in the country. So we are looking to outpace the Silicon Valley. When I first moved to this area in '94, it was a very, very quiet city. They used to joke about whether you could find a pack of gum and a Diet Coke after 5 p.m. uptown. Today, partly due to bringing a culinary institution into the city, we have fantastic eating. We have great sports that are happening all the time. Not during a pandemic, but we have professional football, we have basketball, we have soccer coming in the next year. We have a farm league, Charlotte Knights baseball. You can see some shots of our students on campus. So we are really right in the middle of downtown. You can get around very easily. There is a free electric trolley system, which should be completed soon. That will stop right in front of the admissions office at Johnson & Wales. So you can hop on that, easily get around uptown. We have a light rail system that can take you from the South Carolina border up to the campus of UNC Charlotte. So there's really no need to have a car if you're joining us on campus. Some facts about the diversity on our campus. The Wall Street Journal did name us on their college rankings, and we are very diverse at the Charlotte campus. So if you aren't sure if there's a place for you there, I would invite you to take a look. There's tons of different ethnic groups that are both living on our campus and studying, but also working around us. That particular section of the city is part of the technology corridor. So you may also see a lot of Bank of America people that are coming and going in one of our buildings. They have one of the floors in our admissions room. Experiential education, Mandy touched on this earlier. You are going to learn by doing here. You are not going to just learn theory, you're going to turn it into practice. You're going to work on real world projects in class in all of those fantastic learning labs that you saw, and you're going to work with leading companies, people who have worked for them, who are coming in to talk to you about them. So you're going to have a ton of opportunity to meet and greet. As I mentioned, you're going to run into people who are crossing through the campus or are on the campus on a daily basis. You could have the CEO of Coca-Cola speaking in your class. These are great opportunities to set up both internship opportunities and potentially full-time employment. Internships are a core part of our education as well. Again, a great way to get experience outside of the classroom. We'll talk about our new programs in a moment, but the result is really spend your time at Johnson & Wales building a great resume, before you graduate, because 70% of our kids are going to walk out of their senior year with a full-time job offer. And it's really much better to make those connections while you're studying than to be a piece of paper on an internet search site. So this is a great page if you can hop on over to it after we get off of our info session. It allows you to take a look at all of the things that we offer, all of the different program listings, and it will tell you whether it's offered both in Charlotte and in Providence or at one or the other. So if you're unsure about what you want to study, we have some undecided majors, but you can kind of tool around and see if something here really grabs your eye. And we'll talk about a few of the newer programs and highlight those as well. So here's a little snapshot. Some of the newer programs that we have, you know, they'll be marked in red, and we'll talk in depth a little bit more about those as we go, but we have a little bit of something for everybody. If you're interested in health science, biomedical engineering, exercise science, maybe you're interested in the business of horses, we have an equine program. That program is actually on a campus in Rehoboth, Massachusetts. And it's about a 15-minute ride from Down City in Providence, Rhode Island. So we've got psychology, we have political science, we have sports management. So whatever you might be thinking you want to study, you can check it out. And as Mandy mentioned, you're going to start in your major right away. So there's no waiting until the end of your second year or the beginning of your third to see if it's something you're really interested in. Some fun facts. Numbers don't lie. 97.7% is our career outcomes rate. What does this mean? This means that 6 months after graduation, at least 97.7% of our students are full-time employed, have gone on to graduate school, are doing mission work, or have gone into the armed services. Our internship sites, we work with over 1,500 of them in 46 states and 33 countries. We have tons of students who are obviously completing internships, and yes, students are receiving those full-time job offers after a paid internship. This is a term-long opportunity for you to spend letting a potential employer see your time management skills, your work ethic, and your intelligence. And you're gonna meet and greet them on campus all year long. There's tons of opportunity. The College of Food Innovation and Technology. So we've got some really cool things going on here. These are really, this is the future of food. They're gonna look at food from a political, social, and economic landscape. They're gonna analyze the impact that food has on all of us in all different scenarios. We're gonna look at how you develop solutions, practices, and innovations that make a difference in everyday lives. Modern packaging, maybe that's something that you're interested in. How accessible is product on a shelf for people with those with disabilities? Do sustainability efforts affect how products sell in grocery stores? Can food have medicinal purposes when it comes to things like sports nutrition? I had a student a couple of years ago who was an athletic trainer, and he was interested in creating frozen meals that were healthy for people who were training for things like a marathon or specific competitions in sports. So there's a whole industry out here. I always tell students, if you think about the Beyond Burger, this is the future of food. Plant-based products, packaging that's maybe sustainable and great for our environment. So if that's something that might get your bells rolling, then you should definitely take a look at CFIT.
Okay, so some of you may be interested in some study abroad programs, and obviously what better way to enhance that experiential learning component even further than to explore new culture, explore a new country. And we do have quite a few different study abroad programs across 40 different countries here at Johnson & Wales. So whether you want to study Mediterranean cuisine in Greece or learn about wine and food pairings in Germany, we have plenty of options for you ranging from short-term to long term. So it's a great opportunity if you are looking at really enhancing that hands-on experience and traveling somewhere else while you're here with us. Obviously, student life is a huge part of the student experience, and so at Johnson & Wales, we are proud to offer our students the full college experience. Our students can get involved in things like student government or our CAT team, our collegiate ambassador team, and really represent the university and work on your leadership skills. For those who want to do something a little more social, we have everything from a photography club to a fashion society. So there will definitely be a club out of our 150 clubs and organizations on campus that fits your personality and fits your interests. And if not, we do always encourage you to start your own club. We also have Greek life on campus, so plenty of different fraternities and sororities on both our Providence and Charlotte campuses. And then if you're not necessarily looking to join an athletics team, but you do want to be athletic with your peers, we do have intramurals and rec leagues as well. So residence life is obviously going to be a huge aspect of living on campus and being a JWU student. Things look a little different right now, but these pictures really represent what the Johnson & Wales residence life experience is for our students. We have everything from freshman housing to upperclassmen housing. We have single rooms, we have suite style rooms. We are pet friendly, so if you happen to have a little furry friend that you want to bring with you, we do have pet friendly rooms. And we have a very intensive survey that you'll actually go through. So obviously having a good roommate and having a good match in your suite is very important for your happiness. And so you'll go through a survey that really matches you up with somebody who's compatible for you. And our residence life team does a great job of making our students feel at home and really gives them the opportunity to connect with other students and really create a little community in your residence halls. So if you are part of a national student organization, Johnson & Wales is happy to have you. We are heavily involved in NSOs as well. We do award quite a few different scholarships that are renewable for 4 years. So as you can see, we awarded over $23 million of these scholarships last year. So whether it's DECA or FCCLA or HOSA, whatever NSO you're involved in at your campus right now, definitely list that on your application, and that way you can let us know and you can stay involved in those with us at campus. We currently have over 2,600 active NSO members at Johnson & Wales. So for those of you who are interested in athletics, we've got plenty of options for you at both of our campuses. So we offer men's sports, women's sports, and co-ed sports. As you can see, the offerings will vary a little bit depending on which campus location you're interested in. For example, our Providence campus has a hockey team, they've got a rowing team, they've got equestrian, and then our Charlotte campus has basketball, volleyball, and we're really excited that we just added cross country, tennis, and golf this year as well. And if maybe you're not interested in joining one of those teams, it's still a great opportunity to go to those games, go to those events, and really get your Wildcat pride on and cheer on your friends and your fellow schoolmates and really just enhance that JWU pride. And if you are looking to get recruited for any of our teams, these are the links that you can go to. Let us know that you're interested in, and we can make sure that you get connected with the right coach to get you hooked up for that team. So now I'm going to hand things over to Melissa, and she will tell you how to apply and pay for college.
Okay, I'm going to cut my video on real quick. I'm telling you, my colleagues were wonderful telling you about how great Johnson & Wales is, how you got 2 beautiful locations in Providence and in Charlotte, and you can start your majors right away. Well, that's all great and gravy, but how in the world are you going to pay for it? I'm going to explain to you how you're going to pay for it, whether it's Johnson & Wales or any other institution you're interested in. So I'm cutting off my video because I know you'd rather just look at me than look at this. So anyway, here we go. It is a wonderful school, but it is a private 4-year university. Okay, Johnson & Wales is not an inexpensive university, but it is doable if you follow what you're supposed to do. A college degree is an investment. It's an investment into yourself. It's kind of like buying a car. You're not going to go on to the dealership and pay the sticker price. You're going to negotiate. So this is how this deal works. You go through the application process, which our application process is free. Then you get accepted. Then October of your senior year, you're going to file your FAFSA. That's the financial aid form, student aid. This money is on first come, first served basis and based on need. There's not a college, a tech school, or university that can give you any grant money or scholarship money until they know how much federal aid from the federal government you're going to be able to receive. Grant money and scholarship money is money you do not pay back. So then the federal government sends to the institution that you have been accepted to, sends what they are willing to pay for your education. And then that institution does what they call is an awards letter, what they're willing to pay. Then you have an EFC, an estimated family contribution, and that's what's going to come out of your pocket. Brenna, click. 94% of the Johnson & Wales students receive federal aid, which is a good thing to know. They filled out their FAFSA in October of their senior year. It's kind of like the early bird catches the worm. Get your piece of the pie. Do not wait until May or June of your senior year to file your FAFSA. Click. Affording a JWU education. These are several different ways. Remember, like how I told you, then the federal government sends us what they're willing to pay, and then we do an awards letter. Well, this is based on your grades. From this day forward, look at your high school as your job. The higher GPAs you have, the more scholarship dollars you're going to be able to receive. Join a national student organization like Brenna was talking about, FBLA, Skills USA, ProStart, DECA. Just by joining these, you'll receive scholarships. Then we have outside scholarships. These are not considered as part of it's going to come from your estimated family contribution. That means it's going to take more off of what you're going to actually pay. And then if you have a school that is saying that they're going to give you X amount of dollars, we are competitive with other schools' awardings. What you'll do, you'll be assigned a financial planner that you will work through this at Johnson & Wales. And if you have a great awards letter from another school, we will see what we can do to help by matching that. And then we have the work study programs. We cannot give out work study programs. These are all geared from the federal government. So if you don't file your FAFSA, you're not going to have a chance to have a work study program. Click. This is what the FAFSA looks like. That is the JWU Code. Whether it's Providence or Charlotte, we only have one code because our federal aid comes from the Providence campus. Now, if you see down at the bottom, www.fafsa.gov, use that website for your FAFSA. There's so many different companies out there that are trying to get our students to pay to have their FAFSA submitted. It is for free, just like our application process is free, no application fee. Click. These are different websites that you can go to for those outside scholarships. Some people that are left-handed, some people are 10% Indian. There's so much money out there that you could use to help pay for your education. And these are a few of our favorite ones that my students from South Carolina use. So again, that will take portions of your EFC off of your final bill. And just remember, every year, any scholarships Johnson & Wales gives you your freshman year, you're going to receive that same scholarship amount your sophomore, junior, and senior year. So do not let other schools front load you. That's what they do. A lot of schools say, oh, I'm going to give you $11,000 to ask them, is it renewable for all 4 years? Click. If anything, you need to explore what schools you're interested in, whether it's Johnson & Wales or any other institution. Go on a virtual tour. Then narrow it down to like 3 schools that you want to see in person. And once COVID's over with, you know, schools are going to allow you to come in. We are allowing students to come and tour our university right now. So you could go on jwu.edu, visit, and make an appointment for a campus tour. Click. Okay, like I said, the admissions process, you can apply online through the JWU website, the Common App, Paper App. Now, a lot of students do not quite get what the official or unofficial transcript is. The unofficial transcript is what we can go ahead and accept you on, but at the end of your senior year is when you're going to submit your official transcript for our records. Now, as far as SAT and ACT, take them if you want to, or test optional. The only thing, if you have a high ACT or SAT score, that's going to earn you more academic scholarship money. I recommend my students, you know, send a personal statement about yourself. It can't hurt. Send recommendation letters. Early actions, November the 1st, which early action is a great way to go. You send your transcripts, your application in early, and are given a decision in November, which is great. We love our AP classes and college credits. Click. And this is how you go to apply to JWU. Click. Find out what the students are doing on campus. Find out what high school students are thinking. Go on the social hubs. Check it all out. A lot of people find their roommates and everything else on the different Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's a good way of helping you decide, do I fit in with these people? Click. Again, if you were not on this webinar, use our Q code to get into for our mailing lists and that type of things, and letting you know what kind of events are going on campus. Click. Contact us, the Charlotte admissions, the Providence admissions. There's the emails, there's the phone numbers, or you can go on the website and you can contact us each individually. That's up to you. I hope this helped you out figuring out how to finance your education. Okay.
We've given a lot of great information. I don't see any questions in the box, but I'd love to suggest 2 questions that I often hear from students and reps. If you, my colleagues, if you guys also have a question that you commonly hear, one question I get is, does Johnson & Wales honor military benefits? And that is an absolute yes. In fact, both of our campuses have a military specialist that after you get accepted and you begin working with your financial advisor on Johnson & Wales campus, we can connect you with the military specialist that will really help you and your family make sure that you get your certificate of eligibility processed, and then we can apply those benefits to your student account. Another question that I often get from students is, can I have a car on campus? Well, yes, you can have a car, but our campuses at Charlotte, it's a few city blocks. It's very easy to walk. I think it was Lisa that mentioned we had the light rail that can really take you all over the greater Charlotte area. Even when I go to campus, I don't drive. I park my car and walk where I need to go, or Uber. So honestly, is it necessary? No, but can you have it? You may choose to have it. So colleagues, is there a question you can think of that students ask that maybe we didn't mention yet in the presentation?
I don't remember whether or not, are they allowed to have pets on campus?
That's a good one. And the answer is yes. Are pet friendly. It does not have to be your support or therapy animal. You can bring Fifi or Fido with you. Obviously, there will be breed restrictions, but it is first come, first serve. So yes, you may bring your furry pal.
Great question. I also get the question, do I have to live on campus? And the answer is, as a first and second year student, yes, we do expect that you'll live on campus unless you are living with family within 50 miles or you have some sort of extenuating circumstance. Obviously, in light of COVID, we took the unprecedented step of asking or allowing students, to have their own room, to have singles this year. And we also allowed students to live off campus that requested that due to medical exemptions. But statistics will show that students are more successful if they live on campus, and we want you to be successful. So living on campus is an important part of that first year experience.
I mean, I understand people that are close enough to commute, you know, why not? But there's something to be said about the full 4-year college experience, living in a dorm, getting in all those clubs Brenna was talking about, and, you know, becoming a part of JWU. I think that's a really big part of a college education.
Yeah. Any other last minute questions you guys can think of that students often ask that maybe they didn't ask today? And it looks like we do actually have a question. How many undergrad students are at the Charlotte campus? Great question. Of course, we know that that number fluctuates a little bit year to year. We normally land at approximately 1,700 students in Charlotte. Melissa, Lisa, somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that.
This year we rolled in at 1,500, just over 1,500.
I mean, all in both campuses, Lisa, what is it, 7,000, 8,000?
Yes, we're about, let's see, we're 6,500 Providence. So yes, and then all in, if we want to factor in graduate school and the College of Online Education, we probably come in close to 10 for all of the campuses.
Yeah, our admissions reps normally are discussing more brick and mortar, you know, the actual on ground, not the going to school on the internet.
Right. And statistics would show too that students, again, right out of high school, if you're a recent graduate or getting ready to graduate, you are more likely to be successful having in-person connection with your instructor. So we have another question that came through. Is the fashion merchandising program at the Charlotte location? Resounding yes. I just spoke with actually the dean of that program, Professor England, Dr. England, excuse me, last week, getting some information from her. And the program at the Charlotte campus has approximately 80 to 90 students in fashion merchandising. And one other note, if there's a program that you would like to talk with a faculty member about, they would love to talk to you. If you go to our website at jwu.edu and you put your search in there in the search bar, just put fashion merchandising, it will put up a faculty contact. You can email our teachers directly. They'd be more than happy to give you information.
And you know, without COVID, our fashion merchandising students, they go on buying trips to New York City. They do internships. They've done them at the Paris Institute and the internships in Milan, Italy. It's amazing the work that comes out of our fashion merchandising program. And a lot of our NSO students, DECA students, are real big with our fashion merchandising programs.
Melissa, you made a good suggestion. Students, if you are in one of those NSOs, be sure to check it on your application. Melissa was telling you about all of the scholarship money available. Brenna mentioned it as well, but you have to check it on your app. So be sure if you're in one of those clubs that you let us know that and check that so that we can be sure to award you money for that.
And also on that note, Mandy, do not forget that Johnson & Wales wrote Culinary Essentials, a culinary textbook. If your instructor in high school used the Culinary Essential book, check yes. That is a $1,000 scholarship, boom, right off the bat.
Good point. Any other questions before we wrap up that you guys can think of? Maybe we want to be sure our student listeners hear that other students ask.
I'll go ahead and say, I know sometimes people get concerned about figuring out their schedule, like what classes do I need? How do I fit all this in? A great thing about Johnson & Wales is that you're actually assigned not only a financial planner to work with, but also an academic counselor. And so that person will work with you from day one up until you graduate, and they help you your first 2 years. They actually help figure out your schedule and get that done for you. That way you don't have to stress about it or worry about it. So that's kind of your great point of contact. So if you do have questions or concerns or anything, that person is assigned to you throughout your education. So it's a great resource, and it really does take some stress off of you trying to get that schedule put together.
That's such a great point, Brenna, because that really does separate us from a lot of other, getting into bigger schools and universities. It's not that they don't want to help you, they just don't have the resources. And Johnson & Wales has invested resources in academic advising, experiential education, financial services, because we know that it's a part of our students being successful. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Right. And a lot of students do not even go into the career office until their senior year. At Johnson & Wales, you're introduced to our career services from the get-go. And just to let you know, a lot of my students work in a full-time job while attending the university. Before COVID, we had over 60 businesses on campus at the Charlotte campus interviewing our freshmen to work for them while attending Johnson & Wales, because the majority of our students do not have Friday classes. So I'm not sitting here telling you you won't have a Friday class, but I'm sitting here telling you it's going to be few and far between that you do have a Friday class. So that really, people really, really like that.
It's a good point. Well, listen, I think we're all really thankful that our students tuned in. I'm going to turn it back over to our facilitator to kind of wrap up with some housekeeping. Take it away, Addison.
Thank you so much, Mandy, and thank you so much to all of our attendees today for joining us. So when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey that we would love for you to fill out today if you have a moment. So this is just one of the mini sessions that is happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions recordings at CACRAO.org. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.